Hey there folks, today we're going to be comparing Canon colors and Fuji colors. This video is a companion video that will go along with my Canon EOS RP and the FUJI X-T3 comparison. I don't think any camera comparison is complete without a color comparison test, and certainly not when you're talking about Canon versus Fuji. And during my years of doing these silly YouTube videos, DENAE and I have shot with most every modern Canon and Fuji device, and we regularly get comments from folks debating the merits of their respective color sciences. But I tend to think that most people just want validation for their purchasing decisions, and you can't truly know without a direct comparison. So with that in mind, we're going to be doing a blind test. That means I'll be sharing with you photos that are extremely similar, one shot on Fuji and the other shot on Canon, but I won't be telling you which is which until the end. You'll keep track of which you like better, and at the end of the video, you'll be able to see which camera color philosophy is going to work best for you. Like with my recent Leica versus Fuji color blind test, this one is going to be two color comparisons in one. We're going to first compare the colors of these cameras in their RAW formats in both Lightroom and Capture One, because the differences between those two platforms in the way they process RAW, like any RAW processor, it's quite different. And after that, we'll be doing the same comparison again in the JPEG format. Now there's a very important reason we're doing both of those, and that is that different people have different workflows and want different things out of camera. Before you're quick to judge those that do shoot in JPEG, a lot of photographers enjoy the JPEG output from different devices, particularly Fuji devices. It gives us exactly the colors we want, maybe with just slight tweaks. So for me personally, I shoot JPEG with RAW as backup. Often I'll just process those JPEG shots because they're already so close to just what I want and what I see through the viewfinder, so why not? But for a lot of other people, you don't care, and for those that don't care, just stick with RAW. But you could look at both. Either way, it doesn't matter. We accept all people here. A couple other important things to note: white balance. I just shot everything daylight balance just to keep it simple and ensure I didn't screw up the comparison by shooting with different white balances. I did also use different lenses, both Fuji and Canon lenses, in the course of taking these shots to get a bit of variety. Of course, we know that lenses affect color, but it's impossible to really test all of those variations, so oh well. The other thing I'd recommend is to not get too focused on analyzing the quality of bokeh, the field of view, the depth of field, or etc., to try to reverse engineer which camera took which shot. While I may have differences between those things, I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the video. So, I mean, if that makes you happy, you know, that's fine. But I do think you'll find it more interesting to play along and focus on the colors that you respond to emotionally the most. As for the second part of the video, in the JPEG comparison, for those I will show you three images. I'll show you one Canon shot in standard mode, and then two JPEG from Fuji shot in classic chrome and in Provia, because those are the two formats I like, and because I'm a selfish person, we won't be showing you all the different variations. That would just be ridiculous and not feasible. But enough talk. I'm sure by now a third of you are typing some complaint about me talking too much. I really enjoy those comments, by the way. They're probably my favorite type of comments to get. Okay, blind test. Ready, go. Hey guys, we interrupt this program to remind you of the photo contest we're currently running from now until December 10th called Do Good With Your Camera. If you've got some photography talent and a bunch of gear and don't know what to point it at, please consider doing some good with it. And while you're at it, enter to win some really incredible prizes.
Like this Fuji X-T100, which you can win by tweeting, Facebooking, or Instagramming the URL dogoodwithyourcamera.com and hashtag dogoodwithyourcamera. If you want to go ahead and do that, you'll automatically be entered.
But if you really want to go out and do some good, consider using your talents to serve others directly, or capture service being rendered and then enter to win some incredible prizes. If that sounds interesting to you, you can watch the video that we've linked to above or in the description for more info.
And now back to your regularly scheduled boring Andrew.
All right, welcome back. It's time for the big reveal, and on the screen now, here are the identities of the letters of both RAW and JPEG. As you look them over, I am curious what your reactions are. You are, no doubt, surprised by something, and I would really love to hear about it in the comments below if you don't mind. I find it very interesting. And the last time I did this, actually last two times I did this, the one time I did this was Sony versus Fuji and then Leica versus Fuji. It was very interesting to me how many people could not tell a difference until we got to the JPEG, of course, and then the differences are much more stark. But in RAW land, it's much harder for people to be able to tell a difference, and then also the answers really are all over the place. So I just find that interesting and probably reinforces the idea that if you shoot in RAW, it probably doesn't matter what system you go with. You're gonna be able to get colors you like eventually out of either of them, and I'm willing to bet that there wasn't a drastic for most people, there's not a drastic win on one side of the fence versus the other. So interesting anyway. And I can't provide an analysis because I haven't looked at the photos, because I want to do what you're doing right now, and that is to watch the blind test and figure out what I think. So I'm not going to do my own analysis. I will say in general, you do get a lot more warmth out of Canon than Fuji. Especially in those skin tones, you're gonna see a lot more of the red than you do on Fuji. Fuji just tends to be a little bit more cool. You also get a little bit more yellow in the blues, a little more of the green side of things, cyan, I guess. A little more yellows in the cyans. I don't know. I'm not a color expert. But anyway, curious to hear your opinions, your thoughts. But that's all for now, guys. Until next time, remember, kindness before cameras, and we'll talk to you again real soon.